It is 8:43 on Friday, January 31st. It is the end of the month, and kind of want to do just a month recap, kind of in a way, about what's been happening and how it's going a bit. Might be a whirring in the background because my PC's up right now. I got Marvel Rivals open. I'm going to start grinding, hit diamond with the boys later today. But this month has been super relaxing and quite nice. There's been some stressful moments, mostly with the application. I turned in my application, and that's done. I don't have to worry about anything anymore. But this GIS class was incredibly fun to learn about, but I did not do too well in it. And my standard of not doing too well is I got a B, like an 86 out of 100 in the final class, because I don't do too well in testing. I get the majority of my grades, like good grades in projects and homework. Testing is something I just don't really respond too well in when it comes to academia. But so I didn't really do too well as I hoped on the final test, and that brought down my grade by a bit. I was hovering around the B+, and I was just hoping that the final could get a little bit more, because I did 100% on the quizzes, and I was hovering around 87 with the projects, but just didn't do the greatest, didn't do as well as I hoped. And that just kind of made me realize, and making me a little bit afraid of the fact that because I'm finally turned in this application, there's no drive for me to want to actually do well in school, or not do well in school, because I've been instilled by my parents that anything below an A is bad. That's just kind of what it was. Like, if I say, I got an 83 on this test, my dad, and I would say, I just made some mistakes, and he gives me that speech, is like, you shouldn't be making those mistakes. Those are terrible mistakes. You shouldn't be making them. And my mom will do the voice like, that's okay, but you can tell that she's like wanting to say, you absolute idiot, like, why are you here? So I have been conditioned throughout my life that anything below an A is terrible. And that's how I feel. Like, am I going to tell my parents about this grade? Absolutely not. Because I know they're going to freak out, because I hold myself to a high standard, and they hold myself to even a higher standard. And it just gets really frustrating. Like, am I annoyed that I didn't do too well? Yes. Do I care as much as they care? No. Specifically because I don't have to do absolute perfect in every class now that I have this application done. Like, graduate school, yes, I'll have to keep working. But one B is going to be fine, especially in a class that's not in my major, not in any of my academic range. It's just some class that I thought was interesting and that I'm never going to use ever again. And it's annoying. It's very annoying. But it was also kind of due to the fact that I didn't feel like I had to do work in this class. Like, I didn't feel like I needed to do well, because, again, this application is done. That I didn't have to try 100%. I could be in class, listen to the lecture, get ahead on the work in class, and then leave and not think about it for the rest of the day. Normal school, and when this semester will come up, probably do the same thing, because I still want to do well in my computer science and math courses, because I really want to get probably into a graduate program, get a master's, and I need to have the things that I'm good at and the things that I'm majoring in, and what other programs will look for to be good as well. And I will hopefully have that drive. But here I'm just like, I was tired of working so hard, and having this month to not have to work hard in a class and not have to think about anything and not have to worry about things as much was so refreshing. Like, I even chose to stay at school for this weekend instead of going home, because I wanted to just revel in the quietness and being able to do what I wanted to do, because it will get significantly more stressful and busy by next week. And so it's just like, I'm worried that I'm gonna take this not like caring to and just kind of apply it to my other classes, but I don't think I do. I'm fine doing it with a January term class, because those don't matter that much. Those are meant to be, you try something new and you try your best. And it was like, did I try my best? Maybe, maybe not. Did I try? Absolutely. And maybe I just wasn't good at the course load. Like, GIS is really interesting, and I love figuring out maps and data, but I was never able to identify the processes correctly and get the correct like work order. And sometimes I would just make a mistake, and that happens sometimes. And that's just what it is. It's really frustrating for me because I wish I could do better, but I'm just was having such a great time not having to worry about classes and just playing video games, going out skiing, going to play hockey, watching a movie on the projector in a random classroom until 1 a.m. on a weekday. Like, it felt so nice to not have to worry about anything and not have to do anything with my parents. Because usually when I don't have anything to do, I have to do stuff with them, and I'm forced to do stuff with them. But here, I was just able to do what I wanted to do and not have to worry about anything else. And it was so refreshing. And do I want to continue this? A little bit, yeah. But I know that once I get back into normal school load, I'll get back to just grinding all the time. But it's also, like, not having to do anything for this past month has kind of made me realize that maybe I'm working too hard. Like, I can take sacrifices in some areas and cut back on some of the workload and do a bunch of more things out with other people that I never thought I could because I was so worried about the grades. And maybe now, because I don't have to upkeep perfect grades, then maybe I can go out a little bit more and do stuff. And this month also made me realize how much I hate my roommates. They are horrible, horrible, horrible roommates. And what makes it so much worse is that they are nice people, very nice people, but terrible, terrible, terrible. I can't stress this enough. Terrible roommates. And like I cannot express, like I said yesterday, I cannot express how much I dislike them without using vulgarity. And I'm not going to right now. They don't respect me. They don't respect my privacy. They don't respect my sleep, my personal space. They don't respect cleanliness in the room. They're terrible roommates. And I'm trying to leave, and the school's like, well, screw you. You don't get to. So I hate them. But enough of that negativity. Like, this has been a good month. It's a good month for me to feel like I took back a little bit of my life where I didn't have to do things for other people. I didn't have to work so hard on classes, but I didn't also have to entertain my parents as if I was on vacation. I was able to just do what I wanted to do and have fun with what I'm doing and not have to worry about anything. So it's been a fun month. Still have a little bit of time to keep relaxing, and then once the semester starts, I suspect it's going to be very busy. I don't have any lab classes, which is going to be very nice. I just have 2 comp sci classes, one which I suspect will be easy, one which I also suspect to be hard, a math class which will always be hard, depending if the teacher creates their own problem sets. If they create their own problem sets, impossible. So impossible. But if they use a pre-made problem set with resources allocated to how to do those properly, then it'll be fine. And then language course, which will be a language. Not the greatest at languages, but I'm motivated to try and learn this language and just see what's happening. So, yeah. Can't believe it's been 31 days. It feels longer to me for doing these video series because I started during Thanksgiving this year and just tried to do it for myself. And then I realized how much I enjoyed not keeping the ideas in my head and the thoughts and the topics that I wanted to talk about just silent. And it was good to talk about things. Because, well, I want to iterate that I definitely have people to talk to about, but I've talked, I think, about how I'm always in a demographic of sports and athletes, where sometimes some of the things where I want to nerd out about music, about art, about video games, sometimes doesn't really connect well with them just because they're not in the same circle as I am in some of the interests. Like, Yeah, they're sports people, and sometimes I don't want to just be a sports person. So it's good to be able to talk about some of these things that I don't particularly get to have an outlet to. So it's been a good month. Unfortunate with the class, but what can you do? I just got to do better in my computer science classes, get 2 A's, and we'll offset them pretty much. And we'll see how it goes.